Okay. Good evening, everyone. I strongly believe that we need to respect everybody's time and warm welcome to all of you to attend the session on email etiquette. Let's make this an interactive and fun learning session. In case you have any questions, please type on the chat box and we'll surely discuss the same. Before we start the session, let me introduce myself. My name is Surekha. I'm a TIS certified soft skills trainer for the corporate world. In the last 4.5, 5 years, I am a freelancer and I conduct various programs right from communication skills to business etiquette, uh, through client management, customer handling, just to name a few, which I do right from new joinees to mid management level. My experience is across various industries, right from insurance to banking and finance and ITIS, just to name a few. Training is something that I'm extremely passionate about, and that's why I'm in front of you sharing my knowledge and my views on what should be the right way to write an email. Yeah. A warm welcome to all of you once again. Let me start by my session by sharing the PPT. Hello, Nilesh. Welcome to the session. Our session for today is on business email etiquette. So, a quick round of question to all of you. Why is it important to know the etiquette to write a business email? How will it help all of us? How does it help to know the importance of writing a good email? Or what is the importance of writing a good email? Hi, Amrita. Welcome to the session. Can I have some answers on the chat box, please? What are the key things to remember to write a good email? I'm looking for some answers. Yes, Divyansh, I'll repeat. I'm asking why is it important to write a good email, or what are the factors to be considered while writing a good email according to you? It gives a different impression for the subject. Yes, Amrita, very well said. Anything else? Why is it important to learn how to write an email? I'm looking for more answers. Okay, let's move ahead. My question to all of you was that why is it important to understand the use of writing an email, or what are the tips that you need to keep in mind to write an effective email? Our session for today will cover the usage, the audience, things to keep in mind, and I'll also share some sample email and some sample phrases that you could use which would help in making your email more effective and sending the message across effectively. Let's begin this session by understanding the importance or the usage of an email. Benjamin Murray had rightly said that it is always the quality and not the quantity. Though an email is inexpensive, How you draft it is very critical. The way you use your words, the connotation, the color, the font, and finally, how do you represent the message or state the message? All fall into key aspects of writing a beautiful email. An email is a form of communication wherein the sender sends a message hoping that the receiver receives it at the same way or same wavelength that the sender wishes to. Since you are not seeing the receiver visually, it's important to state all in the email. If your email is clear and crisp and conveys the message properly, your email is said to be effective. So why do we use an email? Either to get in touch with people, to share information, to send documents. Okay, so we need to understand the use of an email first. And we also need to understand situations where we do not use an email. Ideally, it's important to understand that when the message is too long, it's better not to use an email but have a conversation. A long email diverts the attention of the receiver and the purpose of the email is not achieved. It is always said that confidential data should not be sent through email. The reason being that you never know who is looking and who's spying. Never send an email when you're emotionally charged. For example, you receive your performance letter hike and you're not happy with it. The worst thing that you could do is send your email to your boss stating the reason in an emotional state. When one is in emotional state, the way we write influences that. And hence, it may not be the most appropriate mail. So, 3 states at which you should not send an email are for confidential data, when you want to send a long, complicated message, or when you're emotionally charged. Moving further, understanding the audience. I'm sure all of you might be thinking that email is going to one person. So why do you need to understand the audience? But let me tell you, what you write in an email has to be perceived the same way that you want them to perceive it. And hence, understanding your audience and keeping in mind the nature of the audience who's receiving the email is extremely critical. Your email might be a mass mailer sending to all employees in the office, or just a private conversation between you and your supervisor. Irrespective of whom you're sending your mail to, you need to keep in mind the diction, the connotation, and the language that you will use while sending the email. And hence, I say understanding the audience is key and very important while writing a mail. So, what aspects of the audience do you need to understand? One, who is your audience? Two, what is your relationship with the audience? And three, what do you want the audience to think about? If your audience is, if you're the HR manager and your audience is the entire company employees, then the way you will send your mail will be different from if you're an HR manager and you are sending a performance appraisal mail to an employee. So, how you convey the message is important. If you're using a mass mailer, you may create a creative poster and make it colorful and beautify it. Whereas, if you're talking about performance appraisal, it will be a crisp mailer stating facts. And hence, you need to understand who is receiving the email. Coming to the third aspect, structure of an email. Can anyone share in the chat box what is the effective structure of an email? Can I have some answers on what is the structure of the email? Thank you, Divyansh, for your appreciation. Let's move forward and understand what is the best structure you could have for an email, or what are the points you need to keep in mind while structuring your email. Can I have some answers in the chat box, please? Divyansh, Amrita, Sayali, Nilesh, can you please answer? What is the structure of an email? Okay, can you elaborate that further, Sagar? Greeting, content, and regards. Yes, but can you give it further elaboration or state more in detail? Nilesh, Amruta, Sayali, I'm looking for some responses from all of you. Can you please share what is the structure of an email? Yes, Sagar, very well said. Start with the greeting and then write the subject matter and end by thanking. Perfect. Would anybody else like to add to what Sagar is saying? On the structure of an email. I'm looking for some answers. Let's make this interactive. That's the only way all of us learn. Nilesh, Amruta, can I have some answers, please? Also highlight the subject. Yes, Sagar, very well said. Okay, let's move on. Structure of an email is understanding the format in which you will write an email. Every email has 5 parts to it. The list of recipients, the subject line, the salutation, the body, and closing. List of recipients refers to the audience who is receiving the email. Subject refers to the topic being discussed on the email. Salutation is nothing but the greetings that you do before starting the mail. Body refers to the text or the content of your email. And closing refers to ending your email in a nice note. Let's discuss all these 5 points in further detail. List of recipients. 2. 2 refers to the person who is receiving the email. CC, carbon copy. In case you want to refer or add someone to also be aware that this mail has been sent, you use CC. And you use BCC or blind carbon copy in case you don't want people to be aware who all are marked in the mail. So can we have some discussion on when to use CC and when to use BCC? When do we use CC and when do we use BCC? Can I have some answers on the chat box? Yes, Divyansh, very rightly said. Salutation, introduction, body and closing. Let's come further down and discuss about the recipients. 2 CC and BCC. What is the difference between CC and BCC and when do we use both? Can we have some answers on that? CC and BCC, what is the difference and when do you use them? We use CC when you want to copy others publicly and BCC when you want to do it privately. Any recipients on the BCC line of an email are not visible to others. Yes, Nilesh, very rightly said. Any other answers from anybody else? When do we use CC and when do we use BCC? As rightly said by Nilesh, C is used when you want your supervisor to be marked, when you want the client to be marked, when you want people to be aware who are important and relevant to the subject matter being discussed, of what is being discussed across teams. BCC is primarily used when by the HR team to send brand uh, mass mailers, or if you want to communicate and reach to all employees of the office, or you don't want people to be aware who all are marked on the mail, that's when you use BCC. We need to keep in mind that in the process of using CC and BCC, the recipient on receiving the email, if he or she does a reply all, everyone marked on the mail will receive a copy. So you need to keep in mind that if the recipient presses the reply all button, who all should receive the message? And keeping that in focus, you need to draft your email. Let's move further. Salutation. Salutation is very important. It's also important to understand which kind of salutation you should use depending upon the relationship that you share to the recipient. If it's extremely formal, you may want to say hello. Whereas if you have built a relationship over a period of time, you could go ahead and say, Dear Surekha. Okay. So it all depends on the relationship that you are having with the person. If you're talking to the person for the first time, you may want to say, Hello, Mr. Ashish. But if he's your client in the last 5 years, you would probably write, Dear Ashish. This relationship building happens over a period of time. And you need to understand the boundaries of being casual or a relationship that you have and with the client where you can say dear, or whether you need to be extremely formal and always reciprocate as hello. So keeping in mind these factors are extremely essential while choosing the appropriate salutation for an email. Moving on, this is one of the most important topics of an email. The subject line should be crisp and follow the ABC rule of communication. By ABC rule of communication, I mean that it should be accurate, precise and to the point, that's brevity, and clear and concise, that is without any uh, opinions or facts stated which can be questioned. Okay, so accuracy, brevity, and clarity are 3 points that you need to keep in mind while writing a subject. The purpose of a subject line is to state the context of the mail, and hence it should not exceed 10 words. In case you want to attract the audience attention, you may want to use keywords like action required or read only. So, depending on what action you want the audience to take, you need to be very choosy of the subject line. Moving further, the body or the context or the content. A lot of managers utilize this technique called the sandwich method of feedback, which clearly says that you say the positives and then the negatives and then close by the positives. We need to use the sandwich method while stating the body or content of our email. State positives, then issues, don't use red and bold, and then state the action points. A good way to state action points and state ownership and timelines would be to draw a table. A table attracts more attention than text and it's easy and visually more attractive. Hence, while creating the body of a email, you need to keep in context who is receiving it and how they will perceive it. You need to ensure that there are no spelling mistakes. You need to check grammar and punctuation. One of the key techniques that I use while sending an email is that I review my email before sending it. It's important to review your email, count 10, and then click the send button. What this does is it ensures that you are not making any mistake while sending the email. It's another key and important step is not to use emoticons and use them only for special occasions like birthday, anniversary, promotions, etc. And use a formal font that's clear to read. Are there any questions so far? So I discussed with you the usage of an email, the importance of audience, and we are discussing right now the structure where we discussed about the recipient, the salutation, and the body. Are there any questions that you would like to ask me at this point in time? Thank you, Divyansh. Any other questions you would like to ask? I'm glad, Divyansh, I could help you. Does anyone have any other questions before we move forward? Any questions? Yes, Sagar, we are moving towards the examples. So you can have a look at them. Okay, let's move forward. Yes, Sagar, I do have an example on how do you write for a job application. I hope that example will help you. Yeah, so let's move forward. It's important that you close the email also and ensure that you respect the recipient. Most people nowadays use regards, but there are also others who want to be extremely formal and they may use thanks and regards or kind regards. So you need to choose what you are comfortable with and what you think stands up for you as a person. Moving forward, sample mails. I'd like to share with you a few sample mails which would give you a rough idea on how a good email should be written. Sagar, you wanted to know with regards to for a job opening. So this is something that you can use as a reference point. Dear David, I'm writing in response to the opening of an HR manager, which I believe may report to you. I can offer you 7 years of experience managing communications for top tier 1 firms, excellent project management skills with a great eye for detail, all of which should make me an ideal candidate for this opening. Please find attached my resume for your review and looking forward to speaking with you soon. I know a lot of you may say that this is very appropriate when it comes to people with experience. What if I don't have experience and how do I apply for a job? You can use the same format and you can mention your strengths or your qualities which are necessary for the job and which you can bring to the table. Okay. So all that you need to change is instead of I can offer 7 years of experience, you can say that I possess the following qualities which would help in the profile that I am applying for. Okay. Moving forward, appreciation letter. In this situation of pandemic, a lot of people are working from home. It's important to appreciate your employees. It's important to tell them that they're wanted. It's important to say that you care for them. And hence, more the reason for understanding and the importance of an appreciation letter and also writing the same. As a supervisor or a manager, it's important to appreciate your team. It not only boosts their morale, but also shows that you care and you have concern for them. This is how you write an appreciation email. Dear Amit, I wanted you to note, to, I wanted you, I write to you a note to appreciate the time and effort that you have spent in grooming the trainees and moving them to a new level. Your suggestions on new modes of trainings have proved to be very helpful and given the team a clear perspective on expected outcomes. Your conduct has had a positive impact on a number of team members, and they have at various occasions appreciated your engagement and support. It's really commendable to see how you organize your time and inspire your team members to keep moving forward. Keep your outstanding performance. Moving forward, apology letter. This is one of my favorite letters or favorite emails, and we need to understand that importance of writing an apology letter. A lot of times, mistakes are made by team members, and managers refuse or do not understand the importance of writing an apology letter to the client. Accepting your mistake and stating a sorry shows that you are grounded and also shows that you are aware of mistakes that have happened and will find solutions to them immediately. It is key to understand that writing an apology letter does not mean that you have no ground. It just means that you're showing concern and care to your client. This is how I will write an apology letter. I am so sorry that I gave you an invalid solution for your software malfunction. I take full responsibility for my actions and deeply regret the inconvenience that it might have caused you. I misunderstood the issue you are having when we are speaking on the phone, and that's why I ended up giving you a solution that was incorrect. That's no excuse, and I apologize for my unguided actions. In future, I shall be sure to ask several questions of my customer to fully understand the situation before offering a solution. Please feel free to reach out to me if you have any support needs, questions, comments, or concerns. A lot of times I have participants asking me that in case you are writing an RFP or a request for proposal, what is the email that you need to write before that? So to cater to participants who write RFPs, I thought I could share a format of email referring and keeping that in context. Dear Madhu, my team was very happy interacting with your employees to understand the requirements of the new mobile application you want to build. Please find below a proposal which clearly states the roadmap for the project along with deliverables and timelines. Looking forward to hearing from you at the earliest so that we can get the project started. Regards. Let's move forward. I shared with you some examples of email formats that you can use. Now I would like to share with you certain expressions that you can use while starting your email, which would create that exact punch or impact that you would want the receiver to have while reading your email. Let's move on for that. In case you want to tell the audience why you're writing the email or the purpose of the email, you could start your email by saying, I'm writing with regard, or I'm writing to apply for, or I'm writing to my purchase of, or I'm writing to complain you made yesterday, or I'm writing to ask for further information. It's important to set the context of the email in the first few lines because that is what sets the tone for the recipient to read the email fully. And hence, starting your email in a most effective way is very important to keep the recipient read your complete mail and also act upon it as suitable. I'm writing to inquire about. I'm writing in reference to. In case you want the recipient to give information to you and the purpose of email is requesting information, then these are some ways that you could ask. I would greatly appreciate if you could provide me with, or could you kindly let me know whether you can send. This is just a friendly reminder to ask you to send. Is there any chance that you could send me? The way you talk and the way you express yourself on the email makes a big impact on how the recipient of the mail will perceive it. And hence, being polite and graceful is very important. Moving further, in case the purpose of the email is to give status updates, you could start your email by writing, the purpose of this email is to update you on the status of, or I am pleased to inform you that your order is ready, or I'm contacting you regarding the analyst position. As I said earlier, it's important to apologize and accept your mistake. In case of an email for apology, you could also start your mail by writing, we are extremely sorry. I'm afraid I will not be able to attend. Please accept our apologies. Or we would like to apologize for any inconvenience caused. Moving further, as I said, we are in the process of facing a pandemic, and hence, praising performance of each and every team member becomes very critical. You can write mails for appreciation like, thank you very much for taking the initiative to find a solution. Or you can take pride in the work you have put to this project. Or you have made a great contribution to the project. Moving further, we've almost reached the end of the session, and we are in the mode of doing our recap. I thought before we could do the recap, if I could answer a few questions that all of you had, it would be great. Yes, Sagar, you're right. After regards, you need to write your name below. Any questions that you have that we can discuss before we end the session? Any questions from anyone? Divyansh, Sagar, Sayali, Nilesh, Amruta? Any questions from anybody? Yes, Sagar. So CC refers to or keep people posted that you're doing your work. So if you're writing a mail to your client and you wanted to keep your manager posted, then you would write to your client and CC your manager. So it is not single or multiple. CC also you can give to multiple people. Okay. BCC is basically when you want to reach larger audience and you don't want the recipient to know who all have received this email. So you want to reach a big audience, then you usually use BCC. Yes, Divyansh, please ask your question. Gangadhar, I will go to the recap after I am finished answering Divyansh's question. Thank you so much. Divyansh, can I have your question, please? Okay. While Divyansh is typing the question, I would also want to share with you that because all of you have made this special effort to join my session, I, along with the Refire team, would like to give you a free mentoring session for 30 minutes where I could resolve and talk to you of any other doubts that you have with regards to email etiquette. So, post this session, please get in touch with the Refire team and schedule your mentoring session with me. Also, I would like to say that there are a lot of trainings programs scheduled which are going to be conducted by me in the month of July. One of it is on presentation skills. I'm looking forward to seeing all of you participate for the same. In case you want more details, please get in touch with the Refire team and they could share details with you. Divyansh, if he replies to one person and he does not click on the reply all button, it will not go to all. But if while replying, he has this habit of clicking on the reply all button, then everybody who has received the email will get a reply from that person. Okay. Hence, it's very tricky and you need to be careful. Okay. Let's go to the last part of our session today. We have covered many aspects. Gangadhar, there are options to revoke an email. So if the person has not seen an email, most email softwares have the option to revoke the mail. There is no default option of reply all. You need to choose that while emailing. Okay. So let me end this session by doing a quick round of recap and telling you what all we discussed. We first started our session in terms of understanding the usage of email. Then we went out to understand the audience. After understanding the audience, we understood the structure of an email, which includes the recipient, the subject, the salutation, the content, and the closing. And then we moved on to see certain sample emails and tricks of how do you start an email. Now I'm going to the last part of it in terms of recap. So what are the key things that we need to keep in mind while writing an effective email? Keep it short. Be careful of the reply all button. Do not write descriptive subjects. Use the ABC tool. The subject to be such that it's relevant to the topic and people can search for their emails later. And finally, keep it organized. So the key points that we need to keep in mind are identify your audience, identify your goal, keep it precise, proofread your mail, follow up, and use proper etiquette. This brings me to the end of my session. I hope all of you enjoyed it and looking forward to interacting with all of you all in the mentoring session. Request all of you to contact the Refire team for the same. I'm also hoping that all of you will join my sessions of July. There is a very interesting session on presentation skills. It's a 3-week course with where you will also be given the opportunity to do a presentation and I could give you feedback on your skills as well. It's a very detailed course and it will help you improve your presentation skills and make you a better and smarter presenter. So looking forward to seeing all of you attend that course as well. Thank you so much. We have a few more minutes left. If anyone wants to ask any questions, I'm open to questions. Else we can discuss them in the mentoring session. I hope all of you had an enriching 40 minutes and I could share with you the tricks of writing a good email. Thank you, Divyansh, for your appreciation. Gangadhar, the slides will not be shared, but I hope you have taken notes of it and we could discuss on certain points that you're not clear during the mentoring. Yeah. Thank you so much and really appreciate. Any other questions for me? Sayali, Amrita, Nilesh, any questions? Sagar? Okay. Looks like everyone's clear with the concept of email etiquette. Thank you so much once again. I hope you had a good session. I really enjoyed interacting with all of you and looking forward to meeting all of you in more such interactive sessions of Refire. Good night.